Complex PTSD can be a real but she doesn't have to be, and you don't either. Hello friends, welcome or welcome back. As I'm sure we're all aware, Valentine's Day is around the corner. Every year around this time, I think about making a video about complex trauma and relationships, and the complex relationship between the two. I haven't done it yet because I've never really felt qualified, and I would never want to give advice that actually makes somebody feel more alone and isolated rather than fully seen and embraced and known by their partner. That last part is really important because I personally believe that true love can only blossom in authenticity. But also keep in mind that I'm not an expert. I barely even know how to talk to people, so take everything that I say today with a grain of salt, as many as you need to make it taste right. But with that being said, here are a few things that I've picked up. Here are a few things that I've picked up over the years that I'm hoping somebody else out there might find helpful when looking for connection. Be upfront and honest about your struggles. Something you know about yourself is that you're living with a trauma disorder, and ideally, your partner also knows this the second you start to get what the French might call serious. It's never your partner's job to walk around on eggshells in order to accommodate your triggers, but the flip side of that coin is that it is important for them to care and try to be there for you when you need it. This part is going to sound blunt, but I don't care. It's important to weed out the losers early. If they're not interested in somebody with complex trauma, the two of you are not compatible because, yeah, it's not everything about you, but it is substantial in the beautiful, grand thing that is your identity. And so if you're not compatible, that's okay. You deserve to find the piece that authentically fits the puzzle of you, not somebody who accepts all parts of you as long as you keep some of them hidden. Yuck. My brother just texted me about Dr. Phil. My wish for you is a partner who knows your neurotype and understands the struggles and mind of the person they're building their life with. This in turn gives you the opportunity to authentically build your life with somebody who wants to be there and who loves you actively for every part of yourself. Yes, that person exists. Identify your triggers. Listen, I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to take our makeup off here and take a look in the mirror, which is kind of an affront, but it's necessary. Far too many people are wandering around diagnosed or otherwise, and having no idea that their triggers are having a huge impact on their relationships, platonic or romantic. If you're getting upset about very oddly specific things frequently, that's just one small part of your body keeping the score. Or if you keep on getting into the same type of dispute with different people in your life, there's a thread tying all of those disputes together, and it might be worth exploring. The adult thing to do here is definitely the scary thing to do. Take time to walk yourself through your thought process during moments of overwhelm. This is easier said than done in the moment. The goal is to stop getting quite as mad, sad, scared, you name it, about whatever it is that keeps making you mad, sad, scared, you name it. It might be nothing, but it might be something. Figuring out what invisible past threat your body and mind are reacting to might be able to help ground you in the present moment and not get locked in the broken time machine and taking your loved ones along for a ride they didn't even know they were going on. Take care of yourself. Happy people don't kill their husbands. They just don't. Legally Blonde jokes aside, do you know who doesn't take their triggers out on their significant others quite as often? People who take the time to ensure that they are maintaining their being to the best of their abilities. Executive dysfunction is absolutely a thing, and not every person will be able to take care of themselves every day. But I'm not talking to those people. If you're having a hard time caring for yourself today is not for judging yourself or anything. Let's move on though. There's a chance that you're more likely to remain within your window of tolerance and manage your triggers more effectively if you're taking time to care for yourself. It's kind of like you're putting gas in the tank before going on a long trip, if that makes sense. For me personally, this means that I have to force work-life balance and personal care tasks. It sounds easy, but it really isn't. It sounds simple, but it can be life-changing. My advice is to find an activity that you can work into your daily routine that can provide a moment of reprieve from the chaos and the horrors and allow you to regulate yourself a little bit. It's not silly or frivolous, it's actually necessary mental health care. Whoa, right? I've personally always been a bit of a songbird, so I wake up singing every day, basically. And I find myself bursting into song more often when I get overwhelmed. Thankfully, because of my lifestyle, I have a little bit of a commute multiple times a week, and I use that time to take care of myself by singing it out in the car. And it helps, because that's genuinely a thing. You can look up vagus nerve stimulation. I also now use showering as a sensory reset type of activity. My body gets clean, which benefits everyone involved, and my mind can wander where it needs to and process any information that it hasn't been able to yet, in an environment that I have a decent amount of control over. I have worked up to this over literal years. That can be its own video if anyone is interested. What is the point of this ramble? I will tell you now. If you're able to take small steps to care for yourself throughout the day, you will have more in your cup to pour into the people that you love at the end of the day. When you're being fully taken care of, there is a huge chance that you're going to behave in a way that's more aligned with who you would like to be, and doesn't let trauma take the wheel quite as often. Don't settle for less than you deserve. I've tried to fill this video with things that you can do as the person with complex trauma, but it's also important to remember that if there's a significant amount of conflict in some of your relationships, statistically it's highly improbable that you are the cause and the issue every single time. 100% of the time? I don't know. Like, yes, it's very likely that sometimes, maybe even frequently, you will perceive a situation through the lens of trauma and have a moment, as they say. That's just sometimes part of having complex PTSD. But for you alone to be the only one who's ever messed up and your partner has never done anything wrong? Statistical anomaly. Wow. So here's some more advice. If you are genuinely doing everything you can to improve yourself and work with the brain that you have, and it's not positively impacting any aspect of your relationship, perhaps you are not compatible, and it's okay to think about that. Because if you are compatible, then you have nothing to worry about. But you need to think about compatibility. If you feel uneasy or unsafe planning a future with them, bye! You constantly feel like you need to be improving yourself, and they refuse to ever even look in the mirror? Bye! Ugly truth alert! Ugly truth alert! Some people with complex trauma can become manipulative and controlling in order to achieve their understanding of safety. I am not here to say that that's right. The flip side of that coin is that some people with complex trauma can become extremely vulnerable to manipulation and control. If your dreams are always falling by the wayside in favor of theirs, that's something to think about. If you always feel like even as an adult you're in trouble, like above and beyond the baseline that you usually feel from anxiety, that is something to think about. If the shoe is on the other foot and your partner is feeling these ways, that is something you need to think about. Complex PTSD can be a real but she doesn't have to be, and you don't either. I promise you, I'm like getting choked up thinking about this. I didn't think about saying all this stuff out loud. Oh my god. I'm thrilled to be able to report that the right person will stand by you on your hardest days. Of course, they're probably not always going to be smiling. Hello. We are all human, and sometimes our bad days can overlap, and I don't think anyone is obligated to be 100% of the time. That's unreasonable. But they will be there, haggard and beside you. I think it's important to also remember not to assign the shoes of a past partner to the one that's currently walking beside you. Hold space for the fact that they may not follow in the footsteps of your previous partners. Sometimes the path looks familiar, but I promise you're not in the same forest. Me and my metaphors are going to take a hike. Please leave your thoughts and whatnots in the comments so that others can benefit while we wander the hellscape together. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you as always to the Turtle Club over on Patreon for keeping this little channel afloat. If you would like to join the Turtle Club, there is a link as always in the description of this video. I should start telling you that, shouldn't I? Don't forget to be kind to yourself and others today, and please remember that you deserve connection, and it's necessary for human development. And with that being said, I will see you again next time. Bye!